Yeah, no problem. I was confused as well because they're very different things. Let me cast the game real quick and just talk about the players in the map we have here. This is called Coliseum. And in the yellow, we have Viper. He's playing as the Koreans. Oh, boy. His pocket then is Doubt. Doubt's in the red, playing as the Britons. In the blue, we have Tato playing as the Spanish. So, wow, 2 good Tower Rush civs for Tyrant. Up against Tato is Valise. Valise is playing as the Mayans in the orange. Pocket then for them is Rubenstock playing as the Byzantines. And then in the teal, we have the Max playing as the Chinese. So if you've never seen this map before, it's complicated, but at the same time very simple. The gameplay is complicated, but that's because everyone's so close together. The map is pretty simple. The woods are on the outer edge. There's no stone you can collect, and there's multiple gold piles. That's the gist of it. You start with ostriches, which are the equivalent of deer. You can lure them in for food. Then you have the elephants, and the zebras are the sheep equivalent. So, oh no, they're also deer equivalent. My bad. That would be goats or something. So, I've seen this map quite a few times, and normally you see a lot of team walling in the beginning. Because this comes down to the early game, and there's often a lot of pressure coming your way, it's not a bad idea to get the walls up. Like here, for example, I think this hill will be huge. This could even decide who wins on this side. If this is walled off from both players, and Valise ends up pushing past the hill, he's going to have such a big advantage over Tato's base. Same thing goes if Tato goes here. And both of them have pretty forward golds. Gherkin says, hey T90, loving your stream, sending woo-woo-woos from Sweden. Chat will send you some woo-woo-woos for me, Gherkin, because I can't type it in the chat. Jacob, I've had an interesting day. I kind of lacked motivation to do anything when I woke up, so it's kind of a lazy day for me. But happy to be casting. Patrol is a problem. When you ask your unit to go somewhere, they come back to starting spot. Ah, gotcha.
Let us have forest, nothing forest, nothing forest, nothing forest, nothing woo-woo-woo.
So you're saying attack move, thank you for the woo-woo-woos, chat. You're saying attack move doesn't bring the unit back. Okay, that would be a difference. I don't see why. Maybe you'd want to use attack move. I know for a while the patrol didn't work on HD. This was 2 years ago. I haven't played HD in a long time, and there have been some improvements since, but I remember it just didn't react fast. And on Vuble, I never had that issue, so I never had to even look into not doing patrol. Junk is back. $10 for Forest Nothing. I don't know if I could do that for you, but it is Friday night. We might mix up the content a little bit. We're going to stick with the expert cast until the experts go offline tonight. With patrol, reaction time for units is the fastest. Attack move is a bit slower reaction. Well, thank you, G-Man, for explaining that. Sorry, Giotto, I couldn't give you the answer. Now, the other thing I didn't mention is that if you want to build towers, you have to buy the stone, because you only have 20 stone. So the creator of the map recognized this would be heavy tower rush.
What do you think you are doing?
And it's going to be expensive to get the stone.
This is the worst thing you can do. I will never forgive you.
Not Ivy.
Note too when I just get back upstairs to my laptop to quickly read any Discord messages before going to sleep. I can't watch you now cause of sleep.
Or you could skip sleep, Nivida, and you could just live on the T90 time zone. How's that? Nivida, thank you for the $5. That's what you get, man. That's what you get. You open up the stream, you're addicted. We can't get away from each other now. A Pineapple Pinecone says, hey T9 official, watching from work after my Friday meeting. Stream is 100 times better than YouTube. Yeah, the stream is so much better. I agree as well. Everybody has their preferences, of course, but I feel like the live interaction just cannot be replaced. Now when I watch YouTube videos, I just feel empty inside. So Viper, because he didn't start with the stone, he had to go heavy on gold, build a market, and buy stone for this tower. And there's a double layer of palisades for Max because he expects this. Now, are we going to see the same from Tato? Every time you purchase resources, it gets more and more expensive. So while Spanish also builds their buildings faster and they're good with building those towers fast, Tato is going to opt to go for scouts. So we have archers then for Valise as Mayans, which is great, versus scouts from Spanish. Now, I completely missed the gray in the middle. We have a forward from Rubenstock. So Rubenstock, instead of walling, is just going forward with archery ranges. And he's denied one of Doubt's archery ranges. So this is interesting. Doubt will be going for archers. And he's up against Byzantines. Rubenstock could go straight for skirms to counter that. Now, Viper has just gotten through. You see this market here for Max. He has 120 stone. He needs 5 more stone. He needs to buy it all. And it's so expensive. He had to sell wood so he could have the gold to buy 100 more stone so he could just build 1 tower. Crazy stuff here. Well, Viper has had success so far, but the cost of stone is rising. If you want to buy 100 stone, it's 187 gold now. So I think that the tower rush will soon stop for Viper. He's heavy on gold, but eventually it'll be too costly for him. And Max, he needs to choose his tower wisely. He's towered this gold to protect it. Yeah, Daniel, this is live, man. This is a live game, and this is a wild game. Now, Veliz has sent his archers to accompany Rubenstock's trash. This is a classic forward, guys. We used to see this. Now, I wasn't around at the time, but back in the day, early 2000s and 1v1s, you'd always see trash forwards. And it's actually effective now, as you can see. One player wants to go archers, but the skirmishers are there to counter that. The spears are there to protect from any scouts that Tata might send in. And Finland's teamwork, again, much better in this game. Look at this wall. Look at this. Look how he positioned the gates. He positioned the gates so he'd still be able to build it, even though the tower's there. If he just tried to build a house wall, he would have lost villagers. That's some pro level stuff there from Max. And this whole game has been pro from Finland's so far. Now, this is probably a little bit of a misplay from Rubenstock. He doesn't have his spears close by. His spears are getting whittled down by Doubt's archers. And now the scouts from Tato killing quite a few of his skirms. Maybe that'll give Doubt some breathing room, but Tyrant not off to the best start, and that's been the case for all the games I've seen from them today. The shower says, well, it's the one good thing about YouTube, you can pause or rewatch. There's advantages of both. Yeah, if you stream on YouTube, look at this scout from Rubenstock. Can we just appreciate the fact that he was sitting there for a while? The thing about streaming on YouTube is you can actually go back. Like, let's say you just joined the stream. We have 576 people here, but 10 minutes ago we had 400. So 100 of you could go back on the stream. The problem is that ruins how interactive it is because you all aren't at the same point. And the other issue is YouTube sucks for streaming. Their interactiveness with the chat and the emotes, like there'd be no T90 creep on YouTube. And that is just one of my many issues with YouTube and how they treat their content creators. And this is where you need wood, guys. This is where you can, the only place you can get wood really that's safe. And it's been found by Finland, but I think Tyrant will clean this up. Finland's maybe going a bit too aggressive there. I would absolutely love to stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time, but unfortunately, if you're a Twitch partner, they don't allow it, and if you're a YouTube partner, they don't allow you to do both either. Otherwise, I just do both at the same time. You can do so when you're starting your channel out, though, because you're not a partner. Yeah, the Matrix was here 20 minutes before the stream started today. Wow, Viper's been building towers on these archery ranges. So he was in the chat and he said, hello, anybody here? And I said, no, this is just your imagination. He was like, what? So when will this end for Viper? I imagine he's going to give up with this at some point. Look at the cost of stone. If you want to buy 100 stone, it's 200 gold. Well, he's going to build one more, but this is going to be tough. Now, these towers will range this gold in Castle Age, but he has to get there, of course. This is a crazy game, and now I think Tyrant having some small victories here. With Rubenstock, he lost his skirms to Tato's scouts because he didn't have his spears close by. And then Veliz lost archers. Veliz, of course, rebounding a bit, but here once again, might be a bit awkward for these skirmishers from Rubenstock. And Tyrant taking the score lead, and that's mainly because Max has clicked up to castle and your score drops when you do so. But still, they have the time now while Max is on the way to Castle Age to do more damage to Veliz and Rubenstock. What's the advantage of being a Twitch partner? The simple thing is you get a sub button, and every time you hit certain emote tiers, like if we get, when we hit 1400 subs, for example, we got a new emote slot. Like only partners get that. Affiliates can just get one emote. And also, I get quality options on the stream, so if you guys don't have the best internet connection or something, you can lower the quality a bit, and non-partners don't get that. There are some other features, but that's the gist of it. Now, Tato has made a lot of scouts. He also got bloodlines and a defense upgrade. So, sure, he's killing units here, but you can tell that Valise is thinking about pulling back, and I really want to see the difference in the resources quickly. Now, Tato's not doing too bad. Valise also not doing too bad. Tato might click up first. Huh. Now, on this side, Viper's still being annoying with towers because he sees all the golds are forward for Max. Max might be forced to come down here to get gold from Rubenstock. Tato has clicked up to castle, and we're going to see some knights and potentially camels from Max. Toto Victo, thank you for the Prime. Guys, I don't know if you know this, but if you have Amazon Prime, you can link it with Twitch. If your mother, your father, your cousin, your uncle has Amazon Prime, you can link it with Twitch just by going to twitchprime.com. You get 1 free subscription to a streamer a month. It supports me, and nothing comes out of your pocket. Thank you for the Prime, Toto. Abs has been watching your content for a couple months now on YouTube. Got hooked so fast. Finally switched over to Twitch today to watch the live streams, and it's just awesome. Always love what you're doing. Love from India. Welcome, man. It's good to see new faces here. Like, you are not the only one. The community has really been growing a lot recently. So where will these knights go? See, Max has an opportunity to run through these gates and maybe try and hit Viper. But if he feels like he needs to help out on this side, he can send the knights this way. Doubt has his own mix of skirmishers in this army now, so a few knights there would clean that up. And maybe this is where Max will choose to pressure Valise. We'll need a bit of help if Tato's sending 2 stable knights, because he is going to be later to Castle Age. I know a streamer who streamed on YouTube and Twitch. Hold on, let me see this. At the same time and has partner on both platforms. Well, if they get reported, then they get in big trouble. So, I don't know what level he's at, but I did it once, and like that is against your partnership agreement. So, I'm sure you can do it. It's not that it's not possible to do, but it's also possible to lose your partnership, which for me would be devastating as this is my job. So, but YouTube has its place. It's basically a highlight center, right? All the best content goes to YouTube, and then that grows the stream as well. And if you don't want to watch live at all on Twitch, you can always come and watch the VODs. There's always going to be more content on Twitch that way. Now, I think Tyrant doing pretty good. Here comes Tato. Tato has played well. He has +2 defense on his knights already. He's trying to push in versus Valise. Now, Valise is over here. He's just now upgrading to crossbow and getting Bodkin arrow. And remember, while Max has sent a few knights to help, he needs to focus here. Look at Viper's map presence. Tell me Koreans aren't broken. Now, Viper deserves credit for this strategy choice, because he saw the golds and he decided to pressure them. But at the same time, this is messy for Max. Max has more villagers than Viper, and Viper's on his way to castle, and Max can also take this gold. Well, let's see how this goes. We have Mayans versus Spanish. I doubt he took a big hit earlier because he's still in feudal age. Rubenstock's still in feudal age, of course, as well. And yeah, Max is just going to take his gold, which is kind of funny. Yeah, Viper building more towers. What is the cost of this now? 230 gold to buy 100 stone. That's just crazy. Yeah, I don't think any of them will be able to afford the castles. Percentage pointless. It would be pointless to try that just because of the cost. This is all about getting an advantage in Castle Age quickly, and no one's going to have the gold to purchase a castle now. It'd be well over 1,000 gold to purchase a castle. And also, a lot of these civs don't have the best unique units for Castle Age anyway, except for Spanish. Tato could justify it, maybe. Now, Tato, he has an advantage here, and now he needs to decide, can I do damage with the units I have here already and send units over to Viper? Because Viper might need some help, and that's exactly what's happening. Now, Viper doesn't necessarily need help, as he continues to build towers with his broken civilization. What he could do is just allow entryway for Tato's knights. And Tato arriving here now to help out as Rubenstock's still microing versus Doubt with his skirmishers. So this will be cleaned up. But Tato could run right into Max's base. Now, I don't know if that'd be the best idea because Max has gold now and he can make camels to counter the knights. But this is an interesting one. Now, Max running to the top of the hill, Max killing the Mangonel, and the knights for Tato have also committed here. First the crossbows, they ran into the base. I think Feliz cleans this up. I mean, sure, those are some tanky knights, but that's a lot of crossbows. Man, you know what? It's so tough when the knights are able to surround like that. With both defense upgrades as well. And sure, the knights will go down. Tatsu got a decent number of kills there. But the pushback is coming soon. And Doubt is going to need to help. And Doubt's on his way to castle. Gonna have Britain crossbows. And remember I mentioned this hill. I said whoever wins this hill wins the side. Well, right now, Tyrant, though they are behind as a team, have the hill. Strode says, good evening to all the amazing people in the chat. Good evening, T90 Official. Glad to be here again. Now I'll get a beer. I might get a beer if I have one in the fridge tonight. We'll see. I feel so bad for Max. These towers have 11 range. The upgrade to them was free. Like, the fact that it's viable to abuse the market like Viper has been doing, that just makes me sad. Oh, the micro from Tato with his Mangonel. Nice pick off there. Finland needs to hold now. I think they have stronger economies. 55 Vils for Max. And 51 for Valise. But Finland's forward golds are getting pushed. Now there's 3 golds here for Valise. Yeah, he's not going to have them, and he will have to fall back to Rubenstock's golds, maybe. Interesting game. Is there a Civ draft ban list for this? No, I don't think so. I think they're just doing random civilizations. Like, again, I don't blame Tato for playing how he's playing and Viper for playing how he's playing, because it's what they should do with the civs. I'm just I have to be very outspoken, I feel, about some imbalances in the game. That way you guys see them, and then the community, people who are involved with the balance sees them as well. Like, that's how I feel anyway. Like, I understand. These civs are still relatively new. The new balance changes are new for a game that's been out for 20 years. And it'll take time, because these top players figure out the meta almost immediately after the civs are changed. But I still am disappointed by how Koreans play out in the meta currently. Now, this is crazy. This is where Valise has his lumberjacks. Now, 1 for 1 there with the Mangonels. They need to win this fight. This is not a situation where Finland can really hold. They need to win this fight. Now, at the same time, Valise losing a few Vils. Tyrant has left the hill. So if Finland, as they're taking big losses, can somehow get more numbers, and they can come around from behind and Tyrant needs to run, they can't utilize their hill. But Valise has to run away. He has resources. He just needs to keep his Vils alive. Somehow still holding on to gold. I think that's a mistake. I think Doubt should be sitting here with crossbows with the Britain range. Viper still building towers on towers on towers. Rubenstock, worth pointing out, he's about to hit Imp as Byzantines. And he has skirmishers here to help, and of course can go Halbs as well. I am surprised that Finland have held on, how they have held on. I can only imagine the fact that Viper has gone full tower has kind of helped Finland in a sense in this fight, because there can be 3 Finland players with army versus 2 Tyrant players with army. Speaking of beer, when's the next Liquor League? You know what, I really, as Viper and Doubt would say, I ran into a pickle. You know, I wanted to do it every 2 weeks, but I don't drink all that often, and after those events I realized that I couldn't see myself doing it every 2 weeks. It's just too often for me. And now we have all these tournaments early in the day on Saturdays as well, so I think I'm going to do it again in a couple weeks, and I'll announce it ahead of time. Nice Mangonel shot! But I don't think I can do it with the frequency that I announced. Yeah, Jacob, I did know about that. Viper's on the way to Imp now, which means he will have keeps. Tato is on the way to Imp as well. And they've kind of sent their military units here. Oh, this is interesting. The quick walls from Finland. Can they finish it? No! Max's Knights blocked that outstanding gate placement from Valise. And now Rubenstock's skirmishers, they could be caught out. Oh, it's important that Max has sent more Knights here. He sent a lot more numbers. It's still not comfortable for Finland. Villagers dying again for Valise. This is where he was getting gold as well. And so many skirms going down for Rubenstock, and the Imperial Age player for Finland's bottom score for their team now. And Doubt using his micro skills, as we all know he has, to use his Britain range. 8 range versus 7 range. Mangonel's not going to be able to get close to Doubt if he hits and runs. And now Tato's coming right back. I don't think this can be pushed. It cannot be pushed by Rams. And you can't get a castle for Trebs because there's no stone on the map. The skirms, of course, will do well versus these crossbows, so Doubt will need to be careful. I'm just seeing Finland holding, and sometimes you need to look at what has happened in the last 5 minutes. Well, here Finland has just held, and they're not pushing back at all. Is it just a matter of time for Tyrant? This is getting closer with the team score. And Tato, he's done an outstanding job to help out in the middle, and also to help out on the right-hand side. Now, Max is soon going to be an imp, and so will Valise, and Doubt is not going to be an imp, so his advantage will not be there anymore once the upgrades come in on the Mayan archers. Viper, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The price of stone, to buy 100 stone, it's 270 gold. Castles cost 650 stone, so we're talking well over 1,000 gold to purchase this castle, and Viper did it anyway. And, I've been saying Max is in trouble. These are his 3 starting golds. He's definitely in trouble. And Tyrant now taking the score lead. Once again, Rubenstock trying to use his skirms versus the archers from Doubt. He's been doing that pretty much all game, but Tato, he's been sending over some cavalry units to counter the skirms all game. And I don't care how cheap these Byzantine skirms are, this is a big loss for Rubenstock. Now, Cavalier on the way for Tato. He will get Cavalier before Max does. Max also has clicked that upgrade. I think if Finland wins this, Max has to somehow survive, and they have to push Tato, which is tough because he's been the best player for Tyrant here. Now, Arbalest in for Valise. Now, normally I'd say Max could just run, but he can't run on this map. He can't do anything. Look at the wood. He eventually will just be killed off. He'll have to go into Rubenstock space, and there's not a lot of space there. So I think Finland needs to rush the fight while Valise has Arbalest, and while Rubenstock has the Imperial Age skirms. Because currently, Doubt, he's in castle. So it's 3 people with Imperial Age army versus just 1 person with Imperial Age army. Yeah, Doubt's on the way to Imp now. They can't allow him to get to Imp, because Viper's doing so well on this side. All he really needs to do is build towers and start trebbing things down. That Civ just disgusts me. Can we get some T90 cries in the chat? Because it makes me sad. Like, honestly, Koreans make me physically sick at times. Just seeing how it's played out. It's so anti-Age of Empires for me. Viper hasn't even made a barracks this game, has he? Nope, just towers. That's it. And it's smart from Viper to do so, but the fact that that's a thing just bothers me. Finland pushing back, though. Tato, he has masterclassed at this game. He has helped Doubt. He's propped Doubt up many, many times. Can he hold here? Max is getting pushed, but somehow he's still spamming Cavalier to this side as he's dealing with more towers and trebs from Viper. This would be an amazing time for the fight, especially if they're able to chip away at Doubt's crossbow army. Because he has Britons, and he'll have those Briton Arbalests in the Imperial Age within the minute. But look at the military numbers for Finland. Well above 80 for them. And below that number is Tyrant. And Tato was ahead with upgrades, though. That's the other thing. But he was unable to use that advantage because of the numbers. And even monks now being sent forward to heal units, get conversions. I think this is possible for Finland, and this is a pretty awesome game. Now, my apologies for that little stutter there. That normally means the players paused ahead of us, since we're 90 seconds behind. Hopefully that'll sort itself out soon. Craves, that is a wall of text, my friends. Send that to me after the game, and I will definitely give my thoughts on that. So now does Tyrant need to take a fight? I think they need to take the fight right after Doubt gets his upgrades. And Tato throwing away some Cavalier numbers. He's unable to get in close enough. Viper, again, no military. Maybe he's expecting to be pushed back by Rams because you see the flags on this siege workshop, which indicates Max has something in there. So Viper not really pushing the eco of Max because of the lack of support, as all of the military units for Tyrant is needed here. Where did Tato go? Okay, I freaked out. I thought he had thrown his units away. The relic situation, Aztecs is actually on the overlay here, but if you can't see it, Tato has 1 relic, and there are none for Finland. T90 Jinx, guys. I just heard Valise pick up a relic right after I said that. He could also snag this one, because Rubenstock has nice map control here on Doubt Space. The price for stone, to buy 100 stone, it is 291 gold. This is like Forest Nothing right now, where you're purchasing all these resources, honestly. It's as close as we get with all the purchasing. Oh, how will this engagement go? Doubt just got Arbalest. He has the Brit in range. These skirmishers, there's not many of them. For Rubenstock, though, he's doing the right thing. I kind of like the way Tato has positioned his units here. You see he has 15 military versus the 41 of Max, though. And still Valise has his Arbalest numbers, and Rubenstock's micro has been nice. Even though he lost numbers, he has been going for the Arbalest. And Tato, all of a sudden, down to 5 military because Max has just been beast moding it here. 43 military for Max, 37 for Valise. They are overrunning Tyrant, and this seems like an impossible comeback for them, honestly. It seemed like it would be so tough because Max didn't have his main golds, and Valise didn't have his main golds. You wonder why I call them Winlands, guys. How on earth are they in this position? Tyrant's dead. Tyrant's dead. Look at the pop difference. Max is 91 Vils, 130 pop. Highest population for Tyrant is Tato, who has 7 military and only 78 population. And here come the Rams. Astounding hold from Finland. And since Viper has no military, he has to pack up the Trebs. Even though these towers are OP and they're going to kill a lot of these Cavalier, it's just about delaying here. Not beating Viper. And they've killed 2 Trebs there. Max will just run away. And he might send those units right back over to Tato's base where everything is going wrong for him. Wow. You have to wonder if Viper should have maybe added something else in. We've watched 3 games today with Tyrant. I think this is mainly due to the strategy choices, and it's not a direct reflection on Viper's play, but Viper's been bottom score every single game against Finland. Every single one. That's uncommon for sure. And having Viper at 60 pop 50 minutes into the game is also uncommon. And now Finland just needs to slowly push in. Take the space away from Tato. That's something that Viper couldn't do against Max. And Max also has Siege Ram. He might start pushing this, you know. Viper needs to hop in his towers. It's not pretty. Not pretty at all. Also, Rubenstock is still... You know, he's been sending skirmishers underneath these towers all game. Because these were built in feudal age, sorry. And every time I look over here, he has some skirmishers. I think we've kind of missed this because of the big engagements on the right. But we have to appreciate the fact he's been pressuring Doubt, because now Doubt can't help on the right. Are you sure it's not actually top low? Well, Viper has his town center, so I think he's good. Viper has his town center, so I think it's fine. I think it's probably Viper. I mean, again, Viper chose the correct strategy choice for his team, I'd say. But Finland as a whole have just played better. And I gotta really credit Max for this. I'll tell you what I would have done if someone did this to me. I would have resigned. I would have gone to watch some Seinfeld or something to de-stress. I would not have said, you know what? We have a chance here. We're gonna push back Viper. That's not what I would have said. Max is insane, and Viper, he's gonna lose this. Look how many siege rams are coming in. Look how many Cavalier are killing villagers. Viper's below 50 villagers now. I think Tyrant are waiting for one big fight. And they're just going to hope and pray that that fight will bring them back. But even if they do somehow push Valise and Max back, Valise and Max have such strong economies to just replenish forces. Max even sending siege rams over here. So not only is Max controlling this army, he's also controlling this army, and this army is winning, as did the army on the right-hand side. Crazy. Finland's fanboy confirmed. I am! How can you not fanboy these guys? Did you see the best of 5 in Battle of Africa versus Tyrant? They were exceptional games. Now, I know these aren't tournament games, and this is just regular expert games. It's probably a bit more casual, if you could say that, for the experts, as they might not want to reveal their strats. But I just... Finland gets me all worked up. I love them. Seriously, I love them. They're so good. And even though Doubt's a 60 military, what can Britons do against Rams? Nothing in this situation. The Rams are slowly pushing Tato back. Now, time to give some credit to Tyrant for staying alive now, because they've been behind for a while. And, oh, look at this. Tato sending his Cavalier over here. I was wondering where the numbers went. Now, I think immediately Finland will know that they can push this because Doubt will be on his own. Tato maybe recognizing we need to do something different. And he sent his units over here to try and damage Max and to hold Viper's position as well. This game is something else. And Max is taking big losses here. He's taking outrageous losses on his wood line. His farming eco, now he's still at 95, but this is inefficient. And back on this side, Rubenstock showing up with the skirms. Doubt he's running away because he knows this is far too many units for him. But I think we've seen units, yes, running back for Max. Max needs to come to deal with this. Crazy game. And Nick Hales, thank you for 3 months, man. Less than 3 to you as well. Can we get those less than 3s in the chat for him? Thank you. How much gold does Max have? I'll show you. He has gold, but you can't trade on this map. You can only rely on a few relics. So maybe Tyrant is just going to try and starve Max of gold. I don't know. This is devastating, though. He lost 25 vills, and he has a lot of idols. There's 420 gold there, and there's no other gold available for him. They might start selling resources. Doubt and Tato. I don't know what word to use to describe the situation, because Tato, of course, lost 2 whole town centers and all the farm space. I wanted to say they stabilized. I still don't think 100 population, 56 minutes into the game, is stabilized. But they've held. And Tato also seems to have some resources, mainly because Viper's sending him those resources. And Tato, 38 military. It's 36 for Max. What a game here. Who would have thought a map like this would have lasted an hour in? It just really shows how strong these teams are. And say what you want about the score of Viper. I think that Viper has done what his team needed him to do here. Control the golds, and then send resources to the other players that have stronger options. And now the military numbers, much higher for Tyrant than they were when I mentioned it 10-15 minutes ago. It's pronounced ankles. Is it? Okay, I'll call you ankles. You just gotta defend me if people make fun of me. And okay, so normally you don't see slinging in non-tournament games. Viper is slinging resources to Tato so Tato can get Paladin. Now, Finland do not have that option. They don't have the option of Paladin. I guess Byzantines could do that, but that's not going to happen because they're so weak. So, Max only gets Cavalier. You might need to try and transition into Camels. Can Tyrant come back here? I doubt getting banking, so he's considering sending resources. I think what he'll do is send all of his food to Tato. So we have 2 Tyrant players slinging resources. Alright. Well, Tato certainly does not have the farming eco to prop himself up. But I think if Tato arrives here, with Doubt, they clean this up. Now Max arriving, joining the party. I want to go to the point of view of Finland for this fight. Yeah, here we go. You see the Cavalier. You see the Arbalest. Now there's Halb for Valise. The trouble with adding Halbs to counter these units is that the Halbs die very fast to the Britain Arbalest. Rubenstock paying food to Valise. So they're also trying to send some resources now. No gold left for Max except... Well, this is Ruben stocks and there's 300. No gold whatsoever. Belize has this gold. I guess Max is on this one. And it is 1 relic for Ruben stock, 1 for Max, and 2 for Belize. So at least Finland has some relics. What do you think, chat? I want you to make a prediction now. Tyrant has a lot less population, but they have Paladin and they have Britain Arbs. Who wins this game? And make a prediction. Live life on the edge. I'm still sticking with Finland's because their economies are so much stronger. Every time Tyrant takes a loss, it's going to be difficult for them to replenish their numbers. But Tyrant could do this. Okay, Tyrant Winlands. Love to see Winlands. Interesting stuff. See, look at this. Remember, Tato's food economy is propped up by others, and the others have 38 vills and 40 vills. And Tato, who has a horrible economy, actually has more vills than his allies. We have the Mayan archers and halves, and then the Chinese Cavalier taking this fight. They just need to trade versus the gold units. They just need to kill the Paladins. They kill the Paladins, and then it's going to be so hard for Tato to add more into the mix. And I think they've done that. And now Rubenstock killing these Arbs. All the gold units dying for Tyrants. And here comes Max. He's not finished. He's not finished. He might not have a lot of gold, but there's still some left here. Viper using villagers to kill the Rams because he has nothing else. Light Cav from Chinese. And Siege Rams going to clean up these towers. At the same time, Tato, he's down to 24 military. And he lost even more space throughout that. Savage Meme says Finland wins. It does look over now. And Max, he's been strong enough without his gold. He's going to get whatever's left here. And Viper, he's just depending on Tato. I mean, this just goes back and forth, doesn't it? But fact remains, if Tato has to go over there, then he just dies here. As does Doubt. Wow, what a game, though. What a game. Neither team made mistakes, in all honesty. What Viper did here was exceptional. I'm surprised that Finland has the score here. If you go back and you listen to my cast 20-30 minutes in, I'm kind of like disappointed. I mentioned how Koreans are broken all the time, and I'm like, this is dumb. But look at this! Now, it's still not over, of course, because Tato does have more Paladins, but Viper's down to 23 vills. He's been taking losses to the light cav from Max. If Tyrant comes back from this, it's one of the best comebacks ever. Look at the pop differences. Every Finland player is above 100. 77 for Tato, 24 for Viper, and 93 for Doubt. I just don't see how it's possible. Yep. Max, he still hasn't gotten his gold. He's just taken out some of the towers here. But he has more Cavalier and he has more light cav. Now, normally when you have more population, you can replenish forces and you can afford to fall back in fights. The interesting thing about this map is, let's say Max gets pushed by these Paladins from Tato. He might have more pop now, but he doesn't have anywhere to run. So I don't know if the villager count is as important as it would be on a more open map, where there's more space. I'd say the military count is the most important thing. And as a team, Finland still wins there, but Tyrant has the more devastating options. It's not broken for a civ that is labeled in the tech tree as a tower civ. No, it is broken. It is broken. It is so broken. I've spoken to over 10 top players about this, and if you don't believe me, believe them then. It is broken. I will talk more about the Koreans things afterwards, but we gotta finish out this game. You don't want to get me started on that right now. Oh man, these Paladins killing Siege Rams now. There's limited gold on the map. While Finland does have relics, it takes a while to get that trickle. Oh man. That's just because you said you think towers aren't how Age of Empires is meant to be played. That's not what I meant. I meant Viper having no military units in the Imperial Age and only building towers. That is not how a team game in Age of Empires should be played, in my opinion. And there's the GG. Since YouTube got to hear my rant about towers, I'm gonna touch on that after I talk about this game, because this game was amazing. I don't think Viper played it wrong. You had 3 forward golds for Max. He did everything right. The reason I think Koreans are broken is because they get the free tower upgrades. They get... Here, I'll just show you real quick. Because this will all come back to how brilliant Max was. Villagers have +3 line of sight, which helps when you send fills forward. Stone miners work 20% faster. Walls, towers, and castles build 33% faster. You get tower upgrades for free and a tower range for free. So there's all their bonuses apply to towers. I disagree with the building speed one, which was the one that was recently added. But anyway, playing with that, Viper, he did everything right to an extent. He YOLO'd with the towers. He took the gold away from Max. Maybe, in hindsight, Viper should have added more economy, because that's what was lacking for him. And maybe he should have added something else. But guys, he used all of his economy to buy the towers. Currently, if you want to buy 100 stone, it's 320 gold. So I almost think that if he tried to add other units, his towers wouldn't have been as effective, and Max maybe wouldn't have died as hard to it. At the same time, I mean, the forward from Rubenstock was a nice idea, but he did throw some units in Feudal. The Tyrant definitely had the lead in Feudal and early Castle here, because Tato's teamwork was so good with Doubt, sending over those scouts and killing those skirmishers. Rubenstock, in the end, ended up pestering Doubt enough to force him back for a while. The Castle Age engagement was also pretty sick, because Tyrant had the hill here. So I guess my prediction was wrong that whoever would take this hill would win the game, as Finland was able to push back up. Even Valise was pressured here on his wood line. I almost can't talk about all the elements of that, except the fact that somehow, some way, Finland were able to find space for farms back here and get eco after being pushed. There was stone on the map. If there was stone on the map, Viper would have steamrolled. Correct, yep. I felt like there's a limited window. I was surprised he purchased so many, in all honesty. I couldn't hear Viper's thoughts on that, but I imagine he was probably saying, this is good, this is good, this is good the whole time. Okay. So here's the military stats. Tato was the MVP for Tyrant, because he was on all sides, Feudal, Castle, and Imp. Well played, Tato, there. And I would have to say that, I mean, it's really hard to take anything away from Valise and Rubenstock, but I would have to say just because Max was the one that's pushed. And the amount of production he had without gold, I think he has to be the MVP. Regardless of stats, I think that he has to be the MVP. Now, I want to see the gold difference. I guess Rubenstock was going for trash. I wonder how the game would have played out if Rubenstock didn't have Byzantines. You know what I mean? Like, if he didn't have Byzantines, he wouldn't have strong trash. Imagine if Rubenstock was Turks. Then I think Finland loses that, because Max and Valise got extra gold from Rubenstock. And I didn't realize there was this big of a difference when I was casting the game. That's not a lot of gold for Rubenstock. Ryax, as much as I appreciate like balanced discussion, I've pretty much given my thoughts on it. Like I said, you might be able to apply to the map and say that it's a big investment for Viper to buy the towers, so it's not as imbalanced as it would be on open maps. But virtually everyone at the high level and every single caster I know, everyone who dedicates their life to this game, says that Korean towers are broken. So I'm going to leave it at that. And it looks like they are finished after playing 3 games. We are going to continue to cast games, whether it be 1v1s or team games. But I had a couple questions from people in the chat I'd love to address now. If you have questions, if you're new to the stream, say hello. We got a big boost of viewers during that amazing game.